Today we're going to talk about effects when you record. So we're going to look for ways to manipulate the sound of your recording. Okay, and you can find that down here. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see where it says dynamic compressor, pan, and gain. If you hit the plus, you'll see that there are extra effects that can be added here. We're not going to worry about all of these. We're really going to be looking at pan and reverb. Those are the two that we're going to look at today. Let's talk about pan first. You know what pan means when you're talking about cameras, right? That's camera movement. So you're taking your camera and you are pivoting in space. And so you're showing things going left to right. You're panning the scene. Audio is the same thing. If you pan audio, that means that you're making it come out of the left speaker or the right speaker more. Okay, so pan is going to move sound around. It's a little trippy to think about that, right? But it's going to move sound between the two speakers. All right, and here's an example of it. If we hit record here, and I am going to just speak normally and record some sound. And here we go, that's enough. If I were to play that for you, it's going to sound normal. And I am going to just speak normally and record some sound. That sound, the same sound signal, is coming out of both speakers equally. So it's coming out of your right and left channels equally. We're going to apply pan to it and make it come out of one speaker more than the other. So if you're listening to this with earbuds on, you're going to hear it in one ear more than the other ear. Okay, so if we click on that and then open up pan, all you have to do is click and you'll see these controls open right up. And you can see right now it's in the middle. That means the audio is coming out equally. We're going to pan to the right. And now if we go back to the beginning and play it again. And I am going to just speak normally and record some sound. And you can reverse it too. So you can make it go out of the left speaker. And here we go, that's enough. And you'll hear more sound coming out of the left side of your computer than the right side. Or your left earbud more than your right earbud. Okay. The other fun thing that you can do with sounds is stretch them. And it makes them sound all slow motion and weird, and it changes the pitch to them. So for instance, if I were to come up here to this one and grab it by that small black box at the top, do you see that tiny box? And drag that out. Now if you play it, totally different sound, very funky. Okay, so that's going to change your pitch, it's going to change your speed, and it's also something that you can play with to make interesting sound effects. And by the way, you can add effects to the whole project here, and you can add effects to one specific track right here. So if you say effects right there and add an effect, you can just affect that one specific track. So that's something important to keep in mind. And I want to show you a new effect. I'm going to turn off my pan. I want pan to be back to normal. Reset. Close. Okay. But now I want to introduce a little reverb. And reverb is going to be this sort of echoey sound that you would hear if you were recording in a much larger space. So just imagine you were inside a cave or some sort of huge cavernous space. The waves of audio coming out of your mouth would go across that entire space. And when they hit that back wall or the side walls, it would come back at you. It would bounce back like a ball. Okay, and that's what creates that the echo. Okay, and so reverb is very similar to that. It's kind of an audio cue that gives us a sense that the space that we're hearing is much larger than other spaces, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, so let's hit the plus, and I want to grab a little reverb. I'm just going to click on that and see how it adds it to our bar of effects. And if I go ahead and record now, here is a new recording of my voice. And then I go back to the beginning and hit play. Okay, here we go. You hear that spooky sound? That's the reverb. And you can control how much delay you have. I think you have to set this before you record, but I'm not sure. Yeah, you need to set that before you actually record. I'm used to Audacity where you can change it at any point, but here you have to set it before you record. All right, so to sum up, you've got three things to play with. You've got your pan, moving that audio from the left speaker to the right speaker. You've got stretch here to change that pitch and make it sound slowed down and weird. And you've also got reverb to give you a little bit of echo as if you were in a much larger space. Okay? If you lose any of these effects down here, like, oh no, where did it go? Just go back to the little plus icon and then scroll down and you can find those things right there. That is it. Happy recording. I hope you have some fun with this. Okay.